Hi, here's a YouTube counter that I've made. It's ideal for smaller channels because it shows counts of up to just short of 10,000 subscribers and just up to short of 10 million views. Now, the reason why I put such a limitation on this is because YouTube have changed it so that it no longer shows exact counts for your subscribers. Once you get above 1,000 subscribers, it will start rounding it down to the nearest 10. So, for example, if you've got 4,250, it will show that, but if you've got 4,255, it will still show 4,250. So, I've just configured it for another channel. So this is an example of a channel that's got 5,212 subscribers, and as you can see, it shows it's 5,210. Yeah, it's a bit limited, but for small channels, it's ideal, and it works quite cool as well. This was made using an ESP8266, a couple of Max 7219 chips, and a logic level translator chip to convert the 3.3 volt signals to 5 volts. Okay, so you may be wondering how I made this. Obviously, I designed my own circuit board using KiCad. Now, as for the software side of things, I'll just quickly show you that now. Okay, I'm going to assume most of you know how the Arduino IDE software works. But just in case, first of all, you'll need to install the ESP8266 support. Now, there's plenty of tutorials for this on the internet. Here's one example, which is Random Nerd Tutorials. It's a very good website, which I recommend you check out because it's got a lot of tutorials on there that you'll find useful. Basically, first of all, you'll need to go into the preferences and enter this URL into the additional boards box, where it says additional boards manager URLs. Put that in there, click OK. Then once you've done that, go to your boards manager and then search for ESP8266 and you should get this here. Install that. It says a few seconds, but it doesn't. It takes absolutely ages. Then once you've done that, you can then open your Arduino IDE and select the type of board that you've got. Now there's quite a few of them here. Depending on which one you've bought, you'll need to select the right one. The default options are usually sufficient, but you may need to check your particular device's hardware. I used let's see what I use now. I use a NodeMCU ESP12E, and the default settings were just fine on that one. So that's that done. So the next step is to get an API key from Google. Okay, right, so I would recommend this site here, Slick Remix. This has got step-by-step instructions for getting an API key from Google. I'll just quickly go through it. You'll need to have a Google developer account first of all. If you haven't got an account, you can create one. It's free. So then you'll need to create a new project. You can call it whatever you want. It's just it's somewhat simple like a YouTube counter. And then once you've done that, you'll then need to go to the list of APIs that you can install. And you want to select YouTube Data API, which is highlighted there. Click Enable. Then you'll need to give it some credentials. And once you've done that, the step that I got, it brought up the credentials first, but you don't want to use the OAuth2, you want to use API key. And once you've done that, once you've set that, it depends which step comes up next. You'll need to, the authorization you need to give it is web server mode and public data. And then add the credentials. And then once you've gone through the 3 steps, you'll get an API key here at the bottom. You need to copy that and put it somewhere safe. This is just an example. This API key doesn't work. Excuse me. Right. So once you've got your API key, put that somewhere safe, and then your next step would be to get YouTube channel ID. Okay, to do that, you need to go to YouTube and go to your channel. At your channel's homepage at the top, you'll see youtube.com channel, and then the numbers after it here that starts with UC. That is your channel ID. So you need to copy that and then put that in the ideal in a text file with your API key, and then put that somewhere safe for now. Right, now that you got that too, but now that you got the API key and your channel ID, we now need to set up the counter. Okay, so you now need to go back to your diagnose software and make sure that the ASP.826 community you've installed is version 2.6.0, because earlier versions don't work with this code and later versions break the web compatibility. It may have been fixed in the latest version, but at the time of the recording it hasn't. So you must install version 2.6.0. You can go back to the mods manager and install the older version if need be. And you'll then need to edit this line, define stack size in the stack.cpp file, because there's a bug in the version of the software where the stack size is too small. Now I'll put this on the top of the sketch because it's quite easier to read it rather than me explain it to you. Once you've done that, you'll then need to install these libraries: Wi-Fi Manager, YouTube API, and LED Control, and include stack.h. If you're using my code, it'll already be done for you, but you will need to download and install those libraries. Now once you've done that, you should be able to compile it and flash it to the board. Right, so the next step after that is, assuming that's all gone through and worked okay, you'll now need to connect the ESP8266 to your Wi-Fi network. Okay, in order to connect it to your Wi-Fi network, you need to grab a smartphone, ideally, and disconnect it from the current Wi-Fi network and scan for new Wi-Fi networks. You should see a new web page, Wi-Fi network called YouTube Counter. Now you need to connect to that, and your phone will ask you to sign in. You need to sign in with the word password, all lowercase. That will then take you to this screen here. Although it won't say auto connect AP, it will say YouTube Counter. You need to click on configure Wi-Fi. That'll bring to this box here. In my application, there's already two boxes. You can ignore these three at the bottom here. So in the top box, you enter your SSID, and underneath you enter your password. Security type is detected automatically. It tested on WPA2, which is what I would recommend you use because that's more secure. And once you've done that, you click on Done or OK, depending on whether you're using an iPhone or Android. And then the device will then disconnect from the Wi-Fi. You then reconnect your phone back to your normal Wi-Fi and then go back to your computer, or you can continue using your phone. Because the next step will be to configure the YouTube API and the channel ID, which you copied earlier. Okay, in order to set your channel ID and your API key, that's done via the web on the built-in web server. But first you'll need to find out what the IP address is of your ESP8266. So you need to open a terminal emulator software or the Arduino terminal. I can't show you on that because it won't capture it, so in this example I've used real term. So you'll need to set it to 115/200 baud. Find it. 1 stop bit, 8 data bits, and find the correct COM port. In my case, it's serial port. It's 5, which is serial 2. Click change, and then reboot your ESP8266. And you'll might see a bit of garbage, so I might have to change the formatting to ANSI. Let's have a look. Reboot again. Right, there we go. So there's the diagnostic screen of the YouTube counter. You'll see the IP address there. Underneath that you will get some errors because it obviously hasn't been configured yet. So you just need to make a note of that IP address and then open up a web page. Okay, so you got your web page open, so you'll need to go to the IP address of your device. In my case, it's 192.168.1.17. That should bring you to this page here. Now you need to enter your channel ID into that box and the API key into that box and click submit. Once you've done that, reboot your device and it should then start showing you statistics. Now what I'll do is I'll put all these instructions on my blog with screenshots which you can follow step by step. So it's quite easier to read it rather than me explain it to you. But yeah, if you also get any problems with it as well, you can also comment either on this YouTube channel, on this video, or you can go to my blog and put some comments on there. I will reply to them, so if you get stuck with it, you can ask for help. That pretty much concludes it. Thanks for watching.